Our objective is to tell a story by editing. And we've got some clips that we've downloaded and already imported into Premiere. And we're going to build a story. So we'll put the soundtrack here on the timeline, and then we'll expand the timeline a little bit so it's a little bit easier to see. Now, when we make a story, there are three parts to a story. There's the beginning, the middle, and the end. So when we start with our beginning, we need to have an establishing shot. So this is our establishing shot. Now we're establishing we're in the desert, but it's kind of boring. So let's bring the car into the shot, and we'll start here. So this is where the car is going to start. Now there's a number of ways that we can edit this. We can double click, and we can come up here and we can say this is our end point, and we would press the I key, and then we can move down and we'd say, okay, that's probably enough of how much we want, and we'd hit the out button. And then we'll see down here on the timeline, it has edited that clip to the in and the out. Another way to do that is to come down to the end and you look really close and you'll see that red arrow. And you can take that red arrow and you can drag, and that will change the end of the clip. And you can do the same thing on the other end and resize the clip. Then we would position the clip here at the beginning of the song, or beginning of our soundtrack. So we're driving down the road. Now let's have him, maybe we'll show him driving. So we'll take this next clip of him driving. Now again, there's a lot of him driving that's kind of boring. So he's driving down the road, and now let's show him, that he's driving. The blink is a nice action there. So he'll blink, and we'll trim this clip back, and we'll move it over, and then we'll trim him back a little bit after he blinks. So let's watch him blink. Okay, there he blinks. So we'll cut that one back. And then now let's have him look in his mirror. So we'll take the clip of him turning and looking in the mirror, and we'll drive and drop that onto the timeline. So we've got the blink, and then we've added the driver's turn. So let's have him turn and look out the rearview mirror. So we'll start about right there. Let's have him look at the mirror. So we'll start here, and then he's going to look at the mirror. So we'll start our edit about here. So we'll pull that back, push it over, and then when he's done looking at the mirror, we'll have him look forward, and we'll just take all that part out. So now we've got our beginning. We've got our establishing shot that establishes the setting. We've kind of got him driving, and so he's moving on. Now, when he looks in the mirror, then he looks forward. Let's have the climax now, just so we can build the sequence quickly. So the climax, the middle of the story, is going to be the car blowing up. So we'll take the car and we'll drag that onto the timeline. Now the car's going to blow up. But again, like our driving down the road, this part is real boring. So we don't want to just have this sit there for 6 seconds of nothing. We want him to see the car blow up. So right as the action starts, because remember, we want to cut on action, so we want the car to kind of be blowing up when we start. So about maybe there. So we'll trim this down, we'll push this over, and then now we'll let the car blow up. So he's looking, he looks forward, boom, car blows up, and bits and pieces of the car fly over. So now we'll trim back to that. Now we can do what's called a match cut, and we can match the shot of the car blowing up because we have a different camera angle for that. So that's this shot here, this wide shot of the car blowing up. So we can put that on the timeline. Now again, we've got all this dead space where the car hasn't blown up yet. And we've already seen the car blow up here. So we want to move down to where the car is kind of already blowing up. So see, there's over on the right, you see the hood kind of flying out. So let's do the part where the hood flies out. So again, we'll trim it back and we'll push it over. And then we'll let the car kind of blow up a little bit. So boom, car blows up. Here's the continuation of the action, the hood flying away, and maybe something like that. And so then we'll trim off the end. Now there's a nice shot of him seeing this in the rear view mirror. So let's put that one on next. So let's go find, okay, so there's the car going by. So we'd start on action, just trim that back a little bit. So now the car blows up, and then as he drives by, he sees the car, and it shows up in his rear view mirror. Now we need to have resolution. So what's he going to do at the end? Maybe he's driving and seeing the road. So there's this shot, an over-the-shoulder shot that we can use. And that'll be kind of our closing shot. So we've got this over-the-shoulder shot. There's the car, and then we've got an over-the-shoulder shot of the other car passing him by. And we can kind of close out with that. Now your sequence doesn't have to match mine. You have all these clips over here to choose from. You can put your sequence together however you want to tell your story. You just have to use 6 or more clips and match it to the sound. Once you're all done with this, then you're going to put a title at the beginning, you're going to put your logo at the beginning, and then you're going to put your rolling credits at the end. So we've already talked about how to do that. There's a video tutorial for that, and there are written instructions for that. So when you're all done with this, then you export it and you turn it in.